So here we are. We're still in the same section as before for 1 or more x's to 1y. So we're doing 3.2 now. So we're going to read these sentences and see if they are a function or not. So Sue writes a thank you letter. She's writing one thank you letter. So she's starting off with one item, and her best friend receives that item. So there's only one person that receives it. So this is a function because one note goes to one person. So let's look at this next one. We have a football game. Okay? We have a football game. And it appears on televisions in 1 million homes. So there's one item that goes to millions of people. So that means this is not a function. Because one game goes to millions of homes. Okay? Let's see. This next one says there are 4 puppies in the litter. One puppy was adopted by the Smiths, so we could do this. Puppy 1, 2, 3, 4. When I do this, I have the Smiths, I have the Jacksons, and I have the Fullers. So it goes to the Smiths, goes to the Jacksons, and both of these go to the Fullers. So some of you may be saying, but 2 are going to the Fullers, so it's not a function. It is a function because it's not like we split one of the puppies in half and give them to different people. There are 2 that are going to the Fullers. So it is a function because each puppy gets one home. Okay. This next one. The basketball team has numbers on the numbered uniforms. Each player wears a uniform with her assigned number. So this is a function because how do I want to say this? I want to say one uniform goes to one person. Okay, this next one. Beverly Hills, California has the zip code of 90210. There are 34,675 people. So that's one number that's going to all those people. So this is not a function because one zip code goes to 34,675 people, not just to one person. A sneak preview of a movie is being shown in a local theater. So there's one movie, and there are 65 people that are going to watch it. So this is not a function because one movie is being seen by 65 people. Okay. This next one, it says Tara works at a fast food restaurant on the weekdays and a card store on the weekends. Tara's job on any one day. Okay? So you can think of it like this: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay? She has 2 jobs. She has a fast food, we'll do fast food, and she has the card shop. Now, the weekends are the weekdays she works here. The weekends she works here. So, do any one of those days go to 2 different? No. So, this is a function because each day she only goes to 1 job. Okay. Janelle sends a text message to everyone in her contact list on her cell phone. There are 41 friends and family on Janelle's contact list. She only sent 1 text message. She has 1 message and it's going to all these people. So this is not a function. Because 1 text goes to 41 people. Okay. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to look at these and decide which one's a function and which one's not. So I look at the domain values. Do they only go to 1 range value? Yes, they do. So this is a function. Over here, 10 goes to 1 thing, 11 goes to 1 thing, 12, look at that. It goes to 2 different things. Because 12 goes to 2 different things right there, that means that this is not a function. That means that is not a function. Down here, let's see. -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. None of those numbers repeated themselves. So this is a function. This one, if we look at it, look at this. 2 goes to -4, 2 goes to 4. 1 goes to -1, 1 goes to 1. This is not a function. Down here, if you watched the last video, I told you all sequences are functions. These are both functions. It doesn't matter that 10 is repeated or that 30 is repeated, because it's the x value that cannot repeat. So then I look at this. I look at my x values. X, 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 x. Is it a function or not? Well, did the domain repeat itself? It sure did. It repeated itself 5 times. So this is not a function. Let's look over here. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did any of the y or the x values repeat themselves? No. The input did not repeat itself. So that means that this is a function. Okay, so we're going to look down at number 5, scenario A. So we have the morning announcements are read over the school intercom system during homeroom period. All students report to their homeroom and start to the school day to listen to the announcements. I would say that that is not a function, because there's one announcement being heard by all the students. Now, we're going to skip B because it depends on your school on that one. I'm going to skip that one. Okay, now, functions as a graph. Scatter plot. Scatter plot is when you graph the ordered pairs. Okay? They don't have to make a line or any kind of pattern whatsoever. It's just a collection of ordered pairs. So I'm looking at some ordered pairs, and we have to decide whether or not these are a function or not. So if I look at it, let's look at it. I have, I don't know, I'm going to make a table. So I have the point 1, 1. I have the point 2, 3. I have the point 3, 1. And the point 4, 4. Do my x values repeat themselves? They don't, so this is a function. Then over here, if I drew a t-chart, I have 1, 1, I have 2, 3, I have 4, 1, and I have 4, 4. Right here, these x's repeat themselves, so this is not a function. Okay, so a vertical line test is a visual method used to determine whether the relationship represented as a graph is a function. Now, all you have to do, boys and girls, is draw a vertical line. Right there. Did it hit more than one point at a time? It did hit more. Oops, sorry about that. It hit more than one point. Right here it hit a point, and right here it hit a point. That means it's not a function. Okay? So I'm going to draw a vertical line. Right there. Does it hit it more than once? Yes, it did. So it's not a function. Over here, if I draw a vertical line, draw it wherever you want, you're still only going to hit it one time, so it is a function. Okay. So we did those 12 cards the other day as to whether or not they were a function or not. So if you go back and look at those, you will see that A, B, C, E, G, H, K, and I, or no, L, sorry, L, not I. L are functions, where D, F, I, and J. If you don't know where those are, they're on page 199 and 201. Okay, functions as equations. Okay, so using mapping, context, or graphs, we can decide if it's a function or not. So now we're given an equation that can be converted to yards to feet. Okay, if I have 1 yard, it equals 3 feet. Okay, so all I'm doing is taking 3 and multiplying it by these numbers in the x column. Okay, now in order to test this, we can first substitute values in for x and then determine if it can be mapped to one y value. So just make sure you understand it is not possible to test every input value. Okay? It is not possible. There's no way that you can do that. Any equation you see a pattern, use the vertical line test to determine. So we're going to look at this. Okay, so we need to find ordered pairs. So I'm just going to pick some ordered pairs or some numbers. So I'm going to plug in, let's see, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. If I plug in -2, that would be 5 times -2 plus 3. So -10 plus 3 gets me -7. Then I would do 5 times -1. So -5 plus 3. That get me -2. If I plugged in 0, 5 times 0 plus 3, hopefully you know that that would just be 3. If I plugged in 1, so 5 times 1 plus 3, so that would be 5 plus 3, which is 8. And then 5 times 2 plus 3, 10 plus 3, you get 13. So if I was going to graph that, hopefully you could have graphed that without doing this. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. Would that make a function? Yes, that would make a function. Okay. Then let's come over here. Let's do this one. If I plugged in -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. So on this one, I would get -2 squared. So that's the same thing as -2 times -2. That would get me 4. If I plugged in -1, that would get me -1 times -1. That gets me 1. 0 squared is just 0. Hopefully you know that. 1 squared, 1 times 1 is 1. 2 squared, 2 times 2, that would get me 4. So if I was to graph this, -2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then -1, 1, and 1 and 0, 0. Okay, so if I was to graph that, that makes a parabola. Would that be a function? That would be a function. Okay, here. -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. If I plugged in -2, the absolute value, remember, when you have absolute value, it turns into it makes it positive no matter what. So if I have -2, that's going to just get me 2. If I have -1, that's just going to give me 1. 0, 0, these numbers are already positive. So if I have this, I have this. It's going to look like that. So that is a function. Okay. D is going to be a little bit harder. We're going to work with that in a minute. Okay, we told you that if y equals a number, that this is a horizontal line. So I go up to 4. Oh, that was a horrible line. That was much better. There we go. Okay, so that is a function. If it was x equals a number, we told you that it's going to be a vertical line. Would that pass the vertical line test? It would not, so not a function. Okay, so let's look at this. I'm going to do this. This one's a little bit harder, so I'm going to... Guys, if we just plugged in 1 for x, 1 plus y squared equals 1. Subtract that over y squared equals 0. If I plug in -1, that would get me 1 plus y squared equals 1. So y squared again is going to equal 0. But let's switch that around, okay? Let's switch it around to where we plug in the y, or the 1 for the y instead. So it's y, or try that again. X squared plus 1 squared equals 1. So x squared plus 1 equals 1. So x squared equals 0, because I subtracted my 1 to the other side. 0 times 0 gets 0, so 0, 1. Okay, so now let's try it if I plug in a -1 for the y. Oops, I didn't mean to write 0. So x squared plus 1 equals 1. I subtract. x squared equals 0. Guys, 0 could be either one of those. So let's 1, 0. Oh, that was a negative 1. Sorry about that. Here, here, here. I'm going to give you a hint. This is a circle, and it is not a function. Anytime you have the y is squared, it's not going to be a function. Okay. This person, oh, I just gave the answer away to this. So let's plug in -2 for the y value. So if I did that, that would be -2 squared equals x. So that's -2 times -2. So that's going to get 4 equals x. So just doing that one problem, we have 4 equaling -2, but we also have 4 equaling 2. They didn't try the negative ones. Okay, I'm giving you this big old hint. Immediately, if y is squared, it is not going to be a function. Okay, so that is the end.